Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking the incredibly fascinating evolution of the leviathan. We're going to trace this idea from an ancient, terrifying sea monster right up to a concept that actually shapes the very governments we live under today. But first, to kick things off, let's look at a recent internet sensation that proves this creature is still very much on our minds.
Okay, let's dive right into this viral footage. You know the one, a giant sea monster swimming near tourist boats that recently sent social media into an absolute frenzy. If you've been online lately, you probably saw this clip showing a massive reptilian creature lurking just beneath the ocean's surface, supposedly captured by Google Earth satellites. Crazy, right? Well, while experts quickly debunked the Godzilla-style animation, it definitely proves our modern undying fascination with the unknown depths of the ocean. The video actually used real base images, but the monster itself? Yeah, pure digital trickery. Yet the fact that so many of us were eager to believe it really shows that the idea of a colossal, undiscovered beast hiding in the deep still captures our collective imagination, just like it did for our ancestors thousands of years ago.
So, where did the legend of the Leviathan actually begin? And why does this coiled serpent pop up in the texts of almost every ancient culture? The name itself comes from the Hebrew word leviathan, literally meaning twisted or coiled. It perfectly describes a massive sea snake whose body is just hidden by the rolling waves.
Section 1. Ancient Origins and the Chaos Camp. Humanity's Struggle Against the Chaotic Seas. To truly grasp this, we have to look at a recurring literary motif that scholars call the Chaos Kampf. Basically, it's the eternal struggle between order and chaos. Across different cultures, we see a really striking pattern. Whether it's the Canaanite storm god Baal fighting Lotan, which is the Ugaritic equivalent of Leviathan, or the Babylonian Marduk splitting Tiamat. We see it again with the Norse Jörmungandr and the Greek Typhon. Ancient humanity universally visualized the untamable sea as a terrifying serpent defeated by a deity of order.
Section 2. The Biblical King of Seas, the Primordial Monsters of the Book of Job.
This ancient framework sets the perfect stage for the creature's most famous iteration found in the Book of Job. Here, God unveils two absolutely awe-inspiring titans to demonstrate his incomprehensible power, the peaceful land-dwelling behemoth and the terrifying sea-dwelling leviathan. Notice the sheer contrast here. Behemoth is the ultimate herbivore, right? Just a mountain of terrestrial muscle resting quietly in the reeds. Leviathan, on the exact opposite hand, is the sovereign of the dark, churning abyss.
Now, Job 41 gives us a truly cinematic description, depicting a beast so massive it literally boils the ocean and breathes actual fire. Ancient legends suggest it was up to 300 miles long. Can you imagine? Its scales were so tight that not even air could pass between them, deflecting swords and spears like they were just pieces of straw. But it also possessed this strange, fluorescent beauty, with glowing eyes that broke the ocean's surface like the dawn, and breath so toxic it was considered a lethal poison.
Ancient Jewish traditions even foretell an apocalyptic end-times battle between these two perfectly matched titans. It culminates in a divine victory where their defeat provides shelter and sustenance for the righteous. It's this cosmic duel of brute force against terrifying power, but the legend states neither can actually gain the upper hand. Ultimately, God intervenes, slaying them both. It's an epic demonstration that all power, no matter how immense, is subject to its creator.
Section 3. Was the Leviathan real? The search for the literal beast in history and biology.
But we've got to ask, is this entirely poetry, or did humanity actually share the earth with something that inspired these terrifying verses? History gives us some really tantalizing clues, from ancient seals depicting coiled serpents, to the Roman historian Pliny the Elder documenting a massive 40-foot skeleton displayed in Rome way back in 58 BC. Pliny even noted its ribs were taller than an Indian elephant. Fast forward to 2008, and modern paleontology provided a massive discovery in Peru.
Scientists point to the fossil of a giant ancient whale named Leviathan melville. With teeth twice the size of a modern sperm whale, it was an absolutely terrifying predator. Meanwhile, creationist researchers argue the text literally describes a marine reptile or dinosaur, like the giant crocodile Deinosuchus, coexisting with man. They point out that Job specifically mentions scales and a neck, which, a whale completely lacks, making a 45-foot armor-plated super crocodile a highly compelling candidate in that view.
Now, skeptics might completely mock the idea of a fire-breathing monster, and understandably so. But if we look closely at natural biology, the concept isn't actually as impossible as it sounds. Let's look at the science of biological combustion.
From the bombardier beetle's boiling chemical spray to theories about dinosaur nasal cavities acting as mixing chambers for pyrophoric aerosols, nature proves that biological fire is, well, biologically plausible. Think about it. Just like a skunk sprays a foul chemical, a creature could theoretically mix chemicals in specialized chambers, much like the crest of a Parasaurolophus or the extra snout holes found on a Deinosuchus. If that aerosol hits the air and acts as a pyrophoric liquid, kaboom! It would look exactly like breathing fire.
Section 4. From monster to political machine, how the beast became a symbol of the state.
Whether it was a physical dinosaur or a mythological titan, the really crucial point is how this beast eventually evolved from a biological terror into a philosophical cornerstone. It kind of crawled out of the ocean and straight into our political systems. To understand this, we have to look at the concept of anarchy, a state of complete lawlessness that the English philosopher Thomas Hobbes deeply feared. Anarchy literally means without rulers. And for Hobbes, let me tell you, this wasn't some utopian ideal of freedom. It was an absolute nightmare.
Writing during the exceptionally bloody English Civil War, Hobbes famously declared that without a government, human nature drives us into a miserable war of all against all. He believed that our naturally self-interested nature meant that without a central power to enforce the rules, our lives would be nothing but endless, violent competition over scarce resources. Basically, solitary, poor, nasty, brutish, and short.
That brings us to his 1651 masterpiece, appropriately titled Leviathan, where he argued that to escape this brutal state of nature, humans must create an artificial monster. Take a look at the ideas presented here, specifically referencing the famous original cover art from his book. It depicts an absolute sovereign, a giant figure literally made up of hundreds of smaller human bodies, wielding a sword. It's an artificial creation designed to rule over the sons of pride. He proposed the social contract. This is where individuals surrender their total freedom to an all-powerful state, a political leviathan, to ensure survival and order against the sheer chaos of anarchy. Just as the ancient gods fought the sea serpents to bring order to the physical world, Hobbes argued we must build a state monster to bring order to the human world. We trade our absolute liberty for safety.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with something to ponder. Did we ever truly slay the Leviathan, or did we simply build it ourselves? From the chaotic, crashing waves of ancient mythology to the absolute authority of the modern state, the Leviathan proves that humanity's fear of chaos and our desperate attempts to control it is a story that never truly ends.